Welcome back. In case you missed the first part of this series, feel free to click the video playing in the corner. But if you're still with me, let's get this show on the road.
Number 4. Women have the privilege of never being required to fight as infantry on the front line if they do choose of their own free will, again with your words there, to join the military in the UK. Now, is this factual? I don't know that much about UK's military rules, but I imagine that if a man joins Her Majesty's Navy, he won't have to fight as infantry.
Did you catch what he did there? Instead of addressing the point presented, he simply said, join the Navy and you don't have to worry about infantry. This is a fallacy called raising the bar or moving the goalposts.
Perhaps this statement should read, join the Army in the UK. I'm going to assume that it's similar to the US, and that when you join the Army, you may be sent to the infantry, but you may not. I know in the Navy, I signed up for a program that put me in a specific school for a specific job. However, I don't know if that's the case for the UK Army, or even if it's really the case for the US Army. I do know that women are not allowed to join the infantry in the UK Army. So we'll go ahead and give this a pass on number 1, because I'm not 100% sure, even though I think it is factually incorrect.
I think the key word here and the heart of the issue is options. In the UK, beginning next year, women will be given the option to join infantry if they want to. But therein lies the crux of the argument. Women are afforded the choice, whereas if there's not enough volunteers, men are not afforded that same choice and against their will are made to go into infantry. That's the difference.
We'll give it a pass and go to number 2. Is this a privilege? No. Being denied the opportunity to join the infantry on the front line, and then telling the same person that you just denied, you're really lucky, you don't have to join the infantry. That's not a privilege. It's a restriction.
Based on a technicality, you are right, but you are missing a citation here. How many women are lining up in droves to join the infantry and being denied? It can only be a restriction if women are being restricted from that position. I'm not being denied a job at Hooters if I'm not trying to get a job at Hooters. At any rate, we're still talking about force versus options. Two very different things.
It also harkens back to that patriarchal, women are too weak to be in the military thing, but we didn't even have to get to number 3 to dismiss this so-called privilege.
Patriarchy argument, dismissed. Women having the option while men being forced.
Number 5. Women have the privilege of having standards lowered to suit them if they choose to volunteer to join the firefighting organizations. 1. Is this factual? I don't know that much about firefighting standards.
I actually already touched upon this in the first part of the series, but the answer is yes. There are plenty of articles on this subject as well.
Really? I imagine that this is similar to privilege number 3. In fact, these 80 privileges could have so far been reduced to quite a few less by combining a few of these privileges into one privilege.
Skipping rant about how privileges could have been combined into one privilege, I will agree that many of the privileges could have been more concise, but it is what it is. Let's continue.
There are different standards. Is it a privilege? Again, going back to number 3, I would say that no, this isn't a privilege according to the sociological definition of privilege.
I reject feminist theory and all the fallacious argumentation it brings to the table. It's convenient that feminists can just make up their own definitions to suit their needs when an argument calls for it. Sorry, I do not accept your faulty religious theory.
You fail at understanding what privilege is according to the sociological definition that people are talking about whenever they're talking about things like white privilege or male privilege.
Oh, you mean that white male privilege I have when standing next to someone like Oprah or Beyonce? Or that homeless white guy who's oppressing Whoopi Goldberg with his male whiteness? You are going to make people go blind with how hard people are rolling their eyes at you.
Furthermore, it's based on biological differences, and as long as the woman is able to do the same job as a man, why should you care?
We don't care as long as a woman can do the same job as a man. When a privilege is brought up, lowering the standards by virtue of being a woman proves that they cannot do the same job as a man. When you have to carry a 150-pound water hose up a ladder and you fail, and they let you join anyway, that is not doing the same job. A man would not be awarded this same privilege of joining the fire department if he failed. So you are explaining away something that hurts people in the long run, as strength matters. If a woman can lift a 150-pound water hose, then great. She can do the same work as a man. We aren't going to say, well, we'll give you the garden hose, and we'll give the big, strong men the heavy-duty hose. Though this definitely could fit under number 3, just like number 3.
Number 9. Women have the privilege of having female genital mutilation be illegal, but male genital mutilation not be. Is this factual? I suppose so. I actually didn't look up to see if female genital mutilation was illegal, but
Really, you don't know if female genital mutilation is illegal or not. How does anyone take you seriously and find you the least bit credible?
take this at his word. Say it is. Is it a privilege? No. I mean, it can be kind of sort of if you take it to a certain kind of thing. Congratulations, woman, for not having centuries of religion oppress you in this one particular way, whenever you have been oppressed in all those other particular ways by religion. And congratulations, because decades of pseudoscience didn't oppress you in this one particular way. But again, I wouldn't call that privilege. I would call that maybe a lucky break of not getting oppressed in this one particular way.
Okay, 1. Appeal to history or antiquity fallacy, using the past to justify today. 2. A feminist saying pseudoscience is funny to me, as feminist theory is complete pseudoscience and faith-based. And 3. I think I will just argue everything with, nah, it's just a lucky break from now on. All male privileges forthwith are lucky breaks.
Here's your sign.
Number 3, we're just gonna, let's for the moment say that it is a privilege. Number 3, why would this privilege exist? Because of the patriarchal religion that has existed in the West for thousands of years now.
Not only is that a patriarchy argument, but that is also an appeal to history fallacy. Dismissed.
Conclusion. At best, for the side arguing that this is in fact a privilege, the source of this privilege has kept and continues to keep women down far more than it grants them privilege. And again, modern feminism moving forward, progress into a more gender equal society where gender roles don't matter, this would go away.
You don't need to support feminism to be against gender roles. Just because a few points of interest overlap does not mean one subscribes to feminism.
I'm not trying to make light of male genital mutilation. I don't think you should do it to your children or whatever. But in a more feminist society, this would not be as big of a problem. In a more advanced society, this would not be a problem.
Not necessarily, but this is the only freebie you get. I've done a lot of research of feminism late, and feminism is becoming more and more anti-circumcision. Lacey Green has a video out on it, and Everyday Feminism also has a few articles as well as a video out on the subject. This could have been a great point for you to drive forward. However, as I've already said, just because there are a few points of interest that overlap does not mean one has to subscribe to feminism to be for or against something. Well, till next time.